Hey guys, welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be reviewing for you the new Anastasia Beverly Hills cream bronzers, and I think they are better than the Chanel cream bronzer. I got the shades Amber and Caramel. These actually released in New Zealand a little bit earlier than in the US. I think it was totally by accident because I kind of saw them in the corner on the shelf and I immediately picked them up. In store, I swatched 3 shades: Amber, Golden Tan, and Caramel. And out of the 3, I actually thought Amber looked the most interesting. It had this very interesting sort of a golden, although a slightly olive undertone. Now, both of these shades that I picked up, both Amber and Caramel, do lean on the warmer side. So if you prefer your bronzers to be a little bit more neutral, I don't think you're going to get that with either of those 2 shades. I love them, you guys. These have the most beautiful creamy texture. I thought the Chanel bronzer was 10 out of 10, but seriously, I feel like this ABH formula is even better. This is like 11 out of 10. It is very buttery, so when you dip your finger in and you apply it to the cheek, it feels very buttery and it just seamlessly blends into the skin. Hardly any work is required. They're also matte. There is absolutely no shimmer in this formula. They're long lasting. I haven't had any issues with these fading on me. I've been wearing this to work every day. I've actually been using these for the last 6 days constantly, and I haven't really experienced any issues. I've tried them on top of powdered skin, underneath powder, with cream blushes, with powder blushes, and so far absolutely no patchiness, nothing. This is an incredible cream bronzer formula. Now let's jump right into application. I'm going to pop Amber on my cheek first, and we'll take a look at what that looks like, and I'll just show you what Amber and Caramel look like in the pan. So this is Amber and this is Caramel. You can kind of see that. So I'm going straight in with my Hourglass brush number 2, and I'm just dipping in and picking up a good amount of this bronzer, just because this is one of those bronzers you don't have to layer on sheerly. You can kind of go heavy with it because it will just blend itself out. Amber right here. So this is Amber. I'm obviously going to pick up a little bit more. And now you'll be able to see that shade. It's a beautiful shade on my skin tone. I think if you have an olive undertone, this would look absolutely beautiful. Check that out. It really does have that slightly yellow undertone. I don't see any red in this shade. I'm in love with this shade, you guys. It looks very natural on my yellow and olive undertone skin. It looks very, very natural on me. So this is a shade that I've been mostly gravitating towards. It's beautiful. So picking up Caramel on my brush. So Caramel is definitely warmer than Amber. Now I do feel like Caramel leans a little bit on the orange side, but it's one of those shades that I feel like I can kind of pull it off because I have really warm undertones. If you are someone with a neutral undertone, I think this is going to be way, way too warm for you. So I wouldn't necessarily recommend the shade Caramel. It's a pretty warm shade. Just to compare that with Amber. So this is Amber. You can see it has a lot more yellow to it than orange, whereas Caramel definitely has a little bit more pumpkin, a little bit more orange. I really enjoy both. I feel like when I'm in summer, we're here in New Zealand, it's winter for us, so I've been gravitating toward Amber a lot. When I'm tan and I'm in summer, I'm probably going to be reaching for Caramel quite a bit. And I'm going to pop this on my forehead as well. And you can see that even in terms of color, it's a lot deeper than your Amber shade. So we have Amber, and Caramel. So I've just evened myself up with some caramel, and I've added the e.l.f. blush in Bali just kind of on my cheeks and up on the nose bridge as well. I feel like I need to add some of this e.l.f. blush right here. That's a beautiful color from e.l.f. by the way. This shade in Bali, it's definitely like a terracotta brown shade. It looks so pretty, and it's a dry formula, so when it sinks into the skin you can touch it and you won't be able to feel it. So it's not your traditional cream blush. It sets down and it just looks like a blush that's part of the skin. It doesn't look tacky. Probably a perfect formula for under a mask. So overall, you guys, I have been really loving the ABH cream bronzers. So in terms of texture, how this bronzer feels and blends and applies to the skin, I definitely prefer the ABH over the Chanel, and which I wasn't expecting this at all, because Chanel is really beautiful. And if you haven't seen my review video for Chanel, go ahead and check that out. It's a gorgeous cream bronzer that I really love to use, and I'm just very baffled how amazing ABH is. And if you didn't want to spend this much money on a cream bronzer, really don't even bother with it. Instead, have a look at the ABH. What I will say though is the shade from Chanel is really versatile. So just in comparison, this is Amber, which you can see is a lot more yellow, which is probably why I really love this shade. And then we have the shade Caramel, which really does look like caramel if you have a look. This one here is a lot more brown than caramel, and it's not as warm as caramel either. And so I think a lot of people, irrespective of your undertone, will really enjoy this shade because it's quite flattering across various skin tones. Whereas I'm not confident that that is the case with these ABH shades. For example, the shade Caramel, I feel like they should be an equivalent shade intensity with this shade with a different undertone. Maybe something similar to this, maybe something a little bit cooler and not so warm, because this is not going to work for everyone. Whereas for Chanel, I feel like this can work for so many people, all the way from that medium, light medium spectrum, all the way to medium tan skin tones can wear this. So in terms of showing you the texture, have a look. This is the ABH. This is the shade Amber, and it's very creamy. When you pop your finger in, you can your finger just glides, and this is what the shade looks like on my finger. And if I was to just, I mean, can you see that? That is just buttery smooth. It's so beautiful. Oh, I love it. I absolutely love the texture of this cream bronzer. And this is what Chanel looks like. I'm just gonna pop it right here and blend it in. So you can see that Chanel also applies really well. It blends really well. It's just a slightly drier texture. That's really the main difference. Whereas the ABH feels like a creamy cream bronzer, the Chanel is slightly more drier, and it sets down very matte as well. It does have a bit of shimmer in it, so if you don't like shimmer at all, you may want to skip Chanel. Although I can tell you from experience that the shimmer you don't really see on the face. Well, I don't see it on the face in any case. So the Chanel does have a little bit of shimmer. The ABH has no shimmer. Now, what I loved about the Chanel is also that it sets down to a matte finish, so my hair doesn't stick to it. I can say pretty much the same with ABH as well. Although ABH doesn't set down completely into a matte finish like the Chanel, it still remains slightly creamy looking on the skin. But when you touch it, so I'm touching my cheek, and it's not tacky, and my hair doesn't really stick to it either. So that's amazing. I love that. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I've really been loving these cream bronzers, and I'm kind of curious about some of the other cream bronzer launches, so I might take a look at those. If you're interested in any specific ones for me to try out, leave in the comment section below. And I will see you guys in my next video. See ya.